to the Airtable Masterclass series. We are diving deep into fields type and data structures. In our video 1, we built a simple tax tracker and I showed you a few basic field types. We also explored everything we saw on our dashboard the last time. That's on our first video. And I was able to show you few of the basic fields from single line text, date field, status. But Airtable has over 20 different field types, and understanding which one to use and when to use it is a very basics you should know. It will actually differentiate you from ordinary VA or ordinary builders. Knowing when to use a particular field is very important. So by the end of this video, you will know every field type available in Airtable, when to use each field type, how to structure your data properly from the start, common mistakes people make with field type, and best practice for building scalable bases. So here is why this matters. Choosing the wrong field type doesn't just make your base harder to use. It makes it harder to even automate in case you want to automate some processes. It also makes you harder to create the interfaces. And you know what we call interfaces on Airtable is more like dashboards and reports, if you are so conversant with dashboards and reports. So get the field types right from the beginning and everything will become very easier. So let's jump into it. So this is our Airtable, and the last time I explained to you that the hierarchy in Airtable starts with the workspace, the bases, the tables, and the fields. So now we have this workspace. This is our workspace. This low tech is our workspace. And we have this client management. That is a base inside this workspace. So I'm going to create another base that we'll use in learning all the fields that we're about to learn today. So here, if you want to create a base, you come here and click on create. Build an app with Omni. That's when you want AI to help you in building. Build an app on your own. This is when you want to build from scratch without any help. I always advise to build on your own because you have the business process and you know all the structures and custom fields you will need for it. All right. So now, once you create a base, Airtable will give you a table. So they've given us this table with fields and rows. And remember I told you that in spreadsheets, that's in Excel and Google Sheets, what we have there is columns and rows, right? But in Airtable, what we have is fields and records. So the columns here are fields. These are fields. This name is a name field. This is field. This assignee is field. This status is field. Attachment is field, and the rest of it. And then the row are this. That's the records. Is what we call row in spreadsheets. But here on Airtable, we call it record. So here are our records. So when we start filling it in, we'll understand it more better. But I treated it in our last video, so you can as well go back to check it out. So think of field type as the rules for what kind of information can go in a column, right? Think of it as the rules, more like what kind of information did I want to capture on this field. So the information you want to capture, the data you want to capture will determine the field type. That's what information did I want to capture on this column. This is the column. So if you now understand the kind of information you want to capture or the kind of data you want to capture in this column, that will help you to understand the kind of field that you need for that particular data. So in Excel or Google Sheets, you can type anything anywhere. A column might have numbers, dates, text, all mixed together. That flexibility seems nice, but it creates chaos. So you cannot structure your database very well using Excels and spreadsheets. So, but in Airtable, every field has a type. We have single line text, number, date, checkbox, and the rest of it. This will help you understand what kind of data belongs there and how to handle it. So I'm going to delete some of these fields because we don't need them at the moment. So you can rename them, right? Let me just show you something. For this status, maybe we don't want status here, we want a date field here. So you can equally come here, click on this drop down. So if you come here, hover here, you will see a drop down. Click on it and edit the field. So when you edit the field, you come here. This is where you're going to know what type of field is this. This is a single select field. So you click on this drop down and then select the type of field you want. And let's say we want a date field. And then you can come here and rename it. Change the status to maybe, let's say, is due date. Is due date. And then you save it. I just want to tell you that we can edit and delete. We can edit instead of deleting, right? You can edit it to the kind of field you want. So, but then I don't need most of this. Let's delete it. So, because we're going to build from scratch. All right. Delete. Okay. So, for example, a date field knows you're working with dates. A date field. Maybe you want to capture the due date. You want to capture the start date. You want to capture dates of events. So date field knows that you're working with dates. So Airtable can calculate how many days until a deadline or filter for next week. So if you're using a date field, Airtable will be able to understand, oh, this person is talking about dates. And when you want to run your automation, it will be able to calculate days. It will be able to calculate number of days. It will be able to calculate weeks in case you want to run some automations on it. You understand? So, but then if you're doing this in Excel or you're doing it in Google Sheets, it might not understand this is a date field. So then when it comes to number field knows you're working with numbers. So Airtable can sum or even do average or even calculate totals. The same thing with single select and all the fields we have. So field types give Airtable the context it needs to work intelligently with your data. So when you choose the correct field, it gives the Airtable the contents they need. So they will be able to know, oh, this person is talking about money if you're using currency. This person is talking about dates if you're using dates. Oh, this person is talking about multi-select. Oh, they want to select multiple things at the same time, right? So it will give you the context. It will understand it. So now let's go through every field type one by one. So we're going to start with single line test. So what we have here on name is single line test. So look at this single line test. So this is your most basic field type. In fact, you will use it in most of your build. You're going to use it. It holds text, a very short text, simple text like name, title, description. That is what you will use in capturing. If you want to capture a name of your client, name of event, name of a project, description of event, titles, a very short text, you're going to use single line test. It is called single line test. So you come here and pick it, and that is it. So you can use it for even codes, right? So when not to use it, when you shouldn't use a single line test. If you need multiple lines or paragraph, that is when you use long tests. So we have single line tests, we have long tests. So when you shouldn't use single line is if what you want to capture will have multiple lines or paragraphs, or the tests are a lot, don't use this. Rather, you use long tests. So now let's go back to long tests. Let me delete these dates. So let's add long test. So we come here, look at what I did. Come here if you want to add a field, that's a column. In Excel, I'm mentioning column so that you understand, but the term to use, and these terms, naming conversions, are very important, especially if you're trying to explain to a client that you can do a job for them. They don't want to hear you say, oh, in this column, oh, they want to hear fields, meaning that I've been working on Airtable. I know things about Airtable. So you should use the right naming conversions, right? Even in your interviews, right? So if we want to add field, this is where we come and add it. Click here, and then we are talking about long text. Look at it. And then if you don't want to, like, oh, you don't want to go and be searching and all of it, you can equally come here and just type it, long text. So this is it. So this long text, this is for paragraphs, is for notes, is for detailed description, anything that needs multiple lines, you know. So this is what you're going to use. So maybe you want to capture product description. Let's just say we want to capture product description. Product description. Okay. So if you see here, you can enable rich text formatting. We did not see this in single line text. But because you might need to bold some letters, in as much as I've been trying for this thing to work, I've not seen it work anyway, but it's always there. I've not used it. I've tried many times to use it, but I've not been able to use it. But then it is what it is. So you see, enable rich text formatting. And if you know rich text formatting, it's all about bolding, italicizing words, and trying to style a sentence or a paragraph. This is it. So if you come here now, you can write as many as, and look at how it's even popping out, meaning that is a long text. But look at here, we want to write something now. You see how this one is opening up. It shows that this is a single line text. But here, look at it. If you want to write, you see it. So you can use this to capture notes, detailed descriptions, maybe meeting summaries, maybe instructions, maybe feedback. You've collected feedback from people and they need to talk about how the product and services are to them, whether you can use it and capture it. So long text field can be formatted with Markdown if you turn on this. That is what I said about that enable rich text formatting. And you can be able to add bullet points and the rest of it. So now we'll go over to number text. So, okay, let me just add it. Number. So this is number field. So if you click on it now, this is the number field. So this field holds numbers, integers, decimals. You want to capture the quantity of things, maybe quantity of a particular product. You want to capture scores of students in a particular subject. You want to capture age. You want to capture percentage. Anything that has to do with numbers, integers, and decimals, right? You can set formatting options. So look at it, how you want it to appear. You can set formatting options. Let's name this one. Let's say this is scores. Let's say this is scores, right? So now here you can be able to select how you want it to come out. Do you want it to come out with a decimal? How did you want it to come out? This is where you're going to do it. And then as well, you can come here and check how you want it to be. There are things you can do here, a lot of it. And then you can use this as well to capture money. So you can use it to capture money. And then you can now format it. Either you want 1,000, you want 1,000,000, you want 1,000,000,000. You can do it as well here. So know that this number field, you can use it to capture number, integer, decimals, and you can as well use it to capture money. So if you want to capture money, you can use it to capture money. So here you decide whether you want to allow negative numbers or positive numbers alone. And there's something like a default. What this default is all about is you want, whenever you create this field, let this number be here. Maybe it's a constant number that you use. while creating, or the process demands a constant number when a record is created, you can just put in the number. So whenever a record is created, this number will pop out. So know that when it has to do with number, don't use single line test for numbers. If you do, Airtable won't know their numbers and can't do the math very well. So if you want to run a calculation on it, it will be easier. But when you use a test, Airtable will not be able to understand that this is calculation that you're trying to run. So I hope you understand this one. And then we go over to the next one. Next one is currency. This is specifically for money. Let me open it and we go and look for currency. Currency. This is it. So as you can see, the logo is already here. You know, the symbol, right? Let's name it prices. Prices. Okay. So here you can be able to decide on the currency symbol. Do you want naira? Do you want dollar, pounds, euros, whatever one you want? This currency field is all about money. Use it for prices. Use it for budgets. Use it for revenue. Use it for cost. So why is it important to use currency field instead of number? Because currency automatically formats with the correct symbol and decimal places. So Airtable understand that you're talking about money when you use currency. If you use number for something that is related to money, the calculation will not run well in case you want to do a calculation. Maybe you want to use a formula field to do some calculation and the rest of it, or even automation to do one or two things on it. Airtable will not understand you are talking about money. But when you use currency, that is the ideal for money. You know, to be able to understand, and you can be able to format it as well. Format it correctly. So currency automatically formats with the correct symbol and decimal places. It also makes your data clearer. When somebody sees $50, they will understand this is $50. They will understand you're talking about money. So that is it for currency. So we'll go over to dates. So I'm going to use this one as well for dates. So let's look for dates. This is date field. So this field holds dates. You will use it for maybe deadlines, start dates, due dates, birth dates, event dates. You can choose how date is displayed. As you can see here, you can choose how it is displayed, the format you want it. Do you want the format March 13, 2026? Do you want the format 3rd March 13th, 2026? Do you want European? However you want it, you can come here and format it how you want it to be. Is it local, friendly, US, European, ISO? However you want it, you can do it here. So then you can decide if you want to include time. Maybe you want a timestamp. When this record is created, you want to capture the time it is created as well. So you can decide to include time. And then you can decide to display time zone. Is it GMT? Is it EST? Whichever one you want. So this is where you can come and format it the way you want it to be, or the way you want it to look like. Use the same time zone for all collaborators. You know, if you're working with a US client that is in EST and then you are in GMT +1 or -1, you should be able to decide how you want it. Use the same time zone for all collaborators. That's everybody will be in the same time zone. Do you want it that way? Or do you want it that you want everybody, when they come in, they will see their own particular time zone? Then that means you don't need to click this. You don't need to toggle this on. So, and then I talked about default when we are talking about numbers, right? So there is default as well in dates. And then you will now decide is you want when this record is created, let the default be the date it was created. Then you toggle this on. So whenever a record is created, the date when it's created it will pop out. You don't even need to input it. It's automatically. It is default. So this is it. And then yes, the ones I've explained, I didn't talk about this adding description. What adding description is all about is describing what you want to capture in that field. Maybe now we want to capture prices. Maybe we can say this field is to capture prices of so goods or so products, and that is it. Just the description of what you want to capture here, and that is about fields. So date field unlock powerful features like calendar view. And when we talk about views, you understand the importance of this date field. Because without a date field, you cannot have a calendar view. And then without date, this date field, you cannot run an automation that has to do with, that is date based. So when we go to views, you'll be able to understand it that without this date, you cannot do calendar. You cannot even do timeline, because timeline needs a start date, a due date, stuffs like that. So now we now go to selection fields. Yes, that is what I call them. Selection field. And in selection field, we have single select field. We have multiple select field. We have checkbox, right? We have rating. I call them selection fields. So then the first one we're going to treat is single select field. So let's go and look for single select. Look at it. Yeah. So let's say what we want to capture with this is status. We want to capture, or let's say we want to capture priority. So we want to capture priority, right? Okay. And then we come and add options. So what this single select field does is that it lets you choose one option from a predefined list. You want to select one option. It's kind of a drop down, but in this drop down, you can only select only one value from a predefined list. So let's say that, okay, this is priority, and we have low, we have high, we have, let's say we also have medium. So these are the three priorities that we have. So when we save this, and then this one have default as well. Maybe you want to create a record that whenever the record is created, it should be on low priority. So you can now use automation, or you can now, whenever you think it has moved to high, you can now move it to high and all of it. You can decide to use low or whatever. And then when you select, you will see all the options that you have, that you've created. Look at them here. So look at them here. Okay. So if we create this field now, we will come here. Okay, our priority is low. If we come here, we cannot be able to select more than one options. If we select this one, the first one we selected is gone. If we go back to select this one, the other one we selected is gone. So we can only pick one. So this one is single select, as the name implies, single select. You can as well color code it. You can color code it. So let's see. You come here and decide, because we are using a free plan, we cannot be able to do it on a free plan. But then what it means is that you can decide that your low is red. You choose red. Your low is this. It will even make it more colorful. So yes, you can color code it. So when to use single select, when something can only be one thing at a time, that's one value at a time. A task cannot be in progress and still be incompleted at the same time. It's not possible. So you can equally use it for your status on a particular project, where you cannot use values like in progress, not started, completed. So a task cannot be in progress and still be completed. So this is a major place where you can use single select field. And then another selection field is multi-select. So this multi-select it will let you choose multiple options from a list. So you can use it for tasks, you can use it for skills. Maybe someone is applying for a job and you created a form, and one of the fields in the form is the skills you have. And then that skills has been listed. More like these are the skills they're looking for. We are looking for somebody that is expert in Zapier, expert in Airtable, expert in ClickUp, Monday.com, and the rest of it, right? So you can now come and say, oh, I'm an expert in this. Look at it. Let's go ahead and create it. Edit field. We'll go and look for multi-select. Look at it, multi-select. So let's say what we want here is skill. So this is skill. And then our options cannot be low, high, medium. No, 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 no. So let's come and say the skills we're looking for is somebody that have knowledge of Zapier, knowledge of Airtable, automation, Monday.com, let's just add ClickUp. All right. Then you can save it. So when you save it now, you can now come here and say, okay, yes, I have knowledge of Zapier. Yes, I also know Monday.com. And yes, I also know how to build on ClickUp. So let me expand this. Yeah. Let me increase the height as well. Okay. So in the single select, we can only select one option. But when it comes to multiple select, we can select as many as. So a project might be both urgent, right? So if you want to use it in urgency, you can use it in where you're creating something that belongs in multiple categories. So that is when you're going to use it. So before you use it, you'll be able to understand the structure you're trying to build, the processes you're trying to build, and then what is required. Are these people required to select multiple options? If they're required to select multiple options, then what you need to do is to use multi-select field. That is what it's called, multi-select field. So that's the difference. Now I'm sure you know the difference between single select and multi-select. So the same thing when we treated single line test and long test. Single line test is we only deal with name, item, description, item name or title, right? Because it can only capture just a one line of text. But then when we use long text, it captures like paragraphs. The same thing when it comes to single select, you can only select one options. So but when they have to select multiple options, you can use something like a multi-select to capture it. So the next one we'll look at is check box. So let's check box. So look at it here. Checkbox is more like a binary. So let's say is task completed. Let's just name this one is task. Is task completed. Or you can even name it just completed. So and then you create it. So if you want it to be on default, maybe when the record is created, it should be checked. But I think the best thing is just to leave it this way. So you will now decide, oh, is this task completed? You now check it. Oh, it's not completed. There is no need to check it. So this is just a simple yes or no, done or not done field. You can use it for task completion, question like yes or no, question like are you in or out, active, inactive, that is where you can use it. Anything that has to do with binary yes or no. Checkbox are great for quick filters. You can filter for all completed tasks, and then when you want to use filter, you can use it to filter. Because if you now create a filter, you can say, I want to filter all completed tasks. And then it can be able to give you all completed tasks or even all incomplete tasks instantly. So that's one of the quick benefits of using checkbox. So the next one we are going to look at is rating. You know what rating is. You want to rate a customer, you want to rate a service. So let's do rating. Look at it, rating. So rating now is giving a star, right? This it lets you rate something with stars. You can use hearts, you can use other icons. So there are different icons that you can use here. You will come here and select the icons you want to use. So, and then you can add more colors. If you're using a paid plan, if you're building it for your clients, you will see more beautiful colors to use. But because you're using a free plan, you can only see what we see here now. So, but I always want to go with this star, right? Okay. And then you will now choose the minimum of the star. Do you want people to rate them between 1 to 10? Do you want them to rate it 1 to 5? I've always used 5. So it's all, but it depends. Whatever your clients wants, whatever the process you're building requires, that is what you're going to use. So let's create the field. All right. So you can use it for priority levels. You can use it for customer satisfaction. You can use it for quality scores. You can use it for urgency, right? How urgent is this? Or you can use it for lead. When you want to score your lead. Oh, this lead is a 5. And then your sales rep can start working on the lead immediately. Oh, this lead is a 2. We don't even need to waste our time. Maybe we can work on it in 3 weeks time. But when they see, oh, this is 5-star leads, right? They will start working on it immediately. And then you can even use it to create an automation. Yes, an automation that when a lead is 5-star, assign it to this particular sales rep, because this sales rep is very good with marketing, right? So they will not pick it up and start marketing the person, put them in their pipeline and all the rest of it. I just hope you understand. So when to use rating versus single select. If you want a visual clickable scale, use rating. You see how appealing it is. Now you're looking at it, is appealing. So if you want to use it, if you want to see something visuals and appealing, you can use it. If you need specific labels like high, okay, you can, in single line test, in single select field, you can equally do rating on single select field. More like these leads, what is their priority, right? Are they high leads? Are they low priority leads? Are they medium priority leads? So when you want to put in a name, right? When you want to put in a label, you can go for single line test, single select test, sorry. Then, but when you want a visual, something that you can see, and clickable scale, as you can see here, you just come here and click. Wow. So I think you go for rating. And then the next one we're going to treat is an attachment. So I'm going to delete some of these so that of it. And then what we want to create now is attachments. Attachments. Look at it. So attachment is, it lets you upload files, images, PDF, videos, documents. Maybe you're creating a form that captures, or an intake form, and a recruitment, you have a recruitment pipeline and you created a form that applicants will fill. And then they're required to upload their CV, they are required to upload their cover letters, they are required to upload whatever certificates they have, right? So you can use something like attachments. So you can use it to collect images. Maybe you are trying to build something and then you need the photo, a snapshot of your employees. You can use it. Maybe you're building in real estate. I've used it a lot in real estate. You use it to capture the buildings. Maybe for viewing, you can be able to upload all your buildings, the pictures of the houses you're renting and all of it, and then people can come, they will be able to see it and the rest of it. So whenever you want to attach, capture files, attachments, something like images, contracts, receipts, design files and the rest of it, attachment is a go-to for it. So you can upload multiple files as well. So look at it. Let's create, what are we going to name this one? Let's just name it images. We'll create. So when you come here, you will now upload. You can even upload from your Google Drive. You can upload from your local file. Wherever you want to upload, you click on it. Let me upload from my system, right? Then I'll upload one. So yeah, that's uploaded. You can decide, oh, I want to upload multiple files. Oh, it is related to this record. You can decide to, okay, upload. Or you come and upload it. So attachment field shows thumbnail preview for images, making them perfect for products database, design trackers, or real estate listing. And then it's also very good when you're trying to create a Kanban view, or there's a very try to add a view. Okay, when you're trying to create a gallery view. So now we can be able to create a gallery view. You see how it appears. You see. So this particular person, see their record, see. So you cannot create a gallery view if you don't have attachment field. Bear that in mind. When we treat fields, we'll be able to learn more about it. But for now, let's continue. So attachment field shows thumbnail preview for images, making them perfect for product database, and a lot of things that you can capture on it. Also, we have a URL field. Let's call it, what are we going to call it? Websites. Okay. Websites. Yeah. Great. Okay. So this field holds web links and is clickable. So if we paste the link here and click it, it will take us to that website. So the beauty of it is that when you paste the link, it automatically becomes a clickable link. So when you paste the link, it automatically becomes a clickable link. So that's one of the beauty of it. You can use it to capture website links, social media profiles, Google Drive links, external resources, that once you click it, it will take you direct to whatever the link is all about. So why use URL instead of single line text? Because URL fields are clickable and Airtable validates that you are using it. So they understand that you want to move to the website, or you want to move to the Google Drive, anywhere you want to go to from here. So that's one of the beautiful thing about it. So like I said, there are a lot of things you can use it to capture. You can even use it to capture website. Maybe you're trying to create a leads table and you need the website of the leads, you need the website of the company, or whatever. Use it and capture their websites. Or even their social media profile, maybe their Facebook or their LinkedIn or their Instagram. You can use it, and once you click on it, it will take you to their profile. And then maybe you're trying to save up a Google link, onboarding a new client, that you have a link, a Google Drive where you upload all their products, all their brands, products, and all of it. So once you click on it, it takes you directly to the Google Drive link and external resources. So this is it. It's very beautiful to use, right? And then we have email. Very important. So we have email field. Look at it. So you already know what email captures. Email address, right? So enter an email address. Look at it. Example, andrew@this.com. So let's create it. This field holds email addresses, right? It's used for like contact email, customer email, team members email. Email field are clickable when you click one. So if we put an email now, it is clickable. So once you click on it, it will take you. Let me use one. So look at it. If I click on it now, it will take me to this email. So because this email is the same email I'm using to build it. So, but if I use another email now, once, as you can see, it's already clickable. It's now looking like hyperlinked. Okay, look at it. It's even trying to open in Outlook. So that is it. So email fields are clickable. When you click one, it opens your email and the address that you already filled. So, and then it's very good because in automation, you can decide, oh, when a record is created, maybe applicants, when they fill the form, send them an email. So Airtable will understand this is the email once you're using the email field. But these are the things you cannot do on Excel, you cannot do on Google Sheets and all of it, except you want to use an external tool, external automation tool, right? But this one, Airtable validates it and know, oh, this is email. And then if you type anything that is not email, you cannot be able to save it. They understand, they validate that this is not email. And then we have phone number. So we have phone number. We have phone number fields. So we already know what it captures. Let's say this is phone number. So Airtable automatically format phone number based on your region. So if I enter number now, this is not a real number, please. I want to try something. Okay. This is how it appears, right? So you can use it to capture your customer's phone number, vendor contacts, team member phone number, and the rest of it. So this is the beauty of it. And then we have other advanced field types. So let me delete some of the things we have here so that it doesn't become so overwhelming for you, so you can be able to see it very well. And all right, we have formula field. Look at it here. You see, this formula field is a very powerful field on Airtable. In fact, it's very powerful. Why? Because if you learn this formula field, you can be able to build a lot of things, manipulate data using formula fields. So maybe a customer wants to calculate, maybe somebody is owing them, right? Maybe it's a rental kind of business, real estate that are in rentals, that they have tenants and all of it. So, and then most of the tenants, they pay annually, but some of them don't actually pay. They pay, instrumentally. And then you want to calculate how much they've paid and how much is remaining. So you have a currency field that will talk about amount paid. And then you will now use this formula field to calculate amounts that is remaining, amounts that they've not paid. And the beauty about it is that when the amount paid is updated, maybe they paid 1,000 and later they paid 200, they added 200 to it. If you would add all of this one will automatically be calculated. That is why it's a formula field. So there are a lot of things you can build with this formula, a whole lot of things that you can do with formula field. If you learn it very well, you can do a lot. So this is one of Airtable most powerful fields type, formula fields. It lets you calculate, combine, transform data from other fields. So there are a whole lot you can even do. And then this formula field you can even use it to, maybe you have name, and then you have first name and you have last name. Maybe they're on different fields. First name on a different field, last name on a different field. You can use formula to concatenate them. You can use formula to separate them as well. Let's try it. So let me add another field. Okay. Let me add another field. Add a field. Insert right? Let me name this one last name, last name. Oh, let me select the field, a single line test, and then name it last name, last name. Okay, then let me name this one first name, first name. All right, so let's say this is first name, this is John, this is John Williams. All right, and then you want to have another field called full name, but this field this time is going to be a formula field where we can concatenate John and Williams. They will now be John Williams. So, and we will name it full name. Let's do it. So, formula field. This is it. Let's name it full name. Full name. So now let's create our formula. Our formula is we want to concatenate. This is it. What do we want to concatenate? We want to concatenate first name plus last name. So yes, we have last name. And then so we want to concatenate it. So if you want to concatenate it, just select this concatenate. You select your first name. You don't need that plus. And then the last name. So, and you need a space. Look at the way it will come out. John Williams. But you need a space because you don't want it to come out this way. Okay, so we need a space in between the first name and the last name so that it will come out well. So this is why we'll add this comma. Add this in between. This is what is giving us the space. And then we'll create the formula. We'll save it. So look at it. Let me bring this closer here. Look at it. So if somebody fill out this form now and come here and write joy, look at it. The formula is already working. Joy, favor. Look at it. So automatically, the formula will just calculate it. You see? There are a lot of things we can do with formula, a whole lot of it. There are a whole lot of things we can do. We can use it to calculate prices. You know, price times quantity. Maybe let's create another example. Let's say we have a number field. A number field. And then we call it quantity. Quantity. We'll create it. And then we have currency. We have currency. And then we name it price. We name it price. And then we create it. Let's say the quantity of this is the quantity of the person wants is they want 3 or 5 of the products that we are selling, and the price for each of the products. Let me remove this decimal. This is how you come here and remove the decimal. You just put 0. So if we go back, it will just give us 5 alone. And then the price of this, let's say the price of this is $100 per one. So we'll now create a formula field that will calculate the quantity each of the person need and the prices. So we don't have to come here and manually do it. With formula field, we can calculate it that whenever somebody fills a form or whenever a record is created there, whatever that the quantity and the price they need will be calculated. We will see the total price. Let's say this should be currency as well. This should be a formula field. A formula field. We name it total price. We want to know the total price of the products that these people need. And then the price will now be quantity times price. We'll create it. So look at it. So if we come here now and another record is created and this person needs 2 of these our products and the price of what they need, maybe let's say the price this time around is 150, is calculated already. And then if we have a constant price, we can come here to put a default. So we can come here and put a default that the default price for this our product is $100. So we don't want to come and be entering $100, Whatever we are doing, just consider whatever that will save time. So now if somebody now come here and create a record, you see, let's say I'm here and what this person wants is just 4. Wait. Default. Okay, it's supposed to appear, I don't know, but what I'm trying to say is that the default is whenever a record is created, the default of that product, the price will just pop out. So you don't need to come and start inputting the price and all of it. It will just be here. And then what you need to do is how many quantity of this product is this person requiring? They need 4. And then we'll decide, okay, the price is 100 as always. It's calculated. Look at the price. It's calculated. So this is the beauty of formula field. So there are a lot of whole things that we can do with fields. So you can go up, read about formula. I'm talking about formula. Read about it. There are a whole lot of things you can do. A lot of beautiful things. Something that you can build that will show that, oh, you know what you're doing. In fact, you understand Airtable very well. Many things that even clients that will not be able to know that it's possible. You can tell them, yes, with formula field, I can be able to do this for you. So go back, read more. So then we have another important field we call roll-up field. These are relationship fields. These are relationship fields. And these relationship fields are very important. But before I go over to that relationship field, let me quickly do button. There is a field called button. Look at it here, button. So this button, we usually use it mostly in automation. Let me name this one, go to websites. Go to websites. Go to websites. You can name it anything, maybe LinkedIn, right? So, and then if you configure it, you put a URL. When somebody click it, where would they go to? Maybe put your website. Now, when somebody click on this button, it should take them to your website. Or when somebody click on this button, maybe there is an automation you created and you can link it to this button. So you can now create that automation that when somebody click on this button, it should send them an email. Or there's a script, because on this Airtable, you can run a script. And that's another most powerful feature in this Airtable. We might not be able to go into it because we are using a free plan. It demands a paid plan, right? But just know there is scripts. More like people that can code. You can code anything. Like most times when people don't want to use formula, they use scripts. Because there are some formulas you build, it will become a lot, it will be overwhelming and then if you make any single mistake, it can even be a comma. That's very fine. So, but we're talking about button. So maybe there is a script you ran and then you created, right? And then you set this button that when somebody click on this button, run this script, it will run it. There are many things you can do. Create documents with form stack, open custom extension. There are many things. You link it open in Page Designer. Maybe this page Designer has to do with an app. Is inside these tools. On these tools here, you can see tools. You can create a designer, There are lots of things you can create there. And then you can link it to this button. Now, when somebody click on this button, it should take them to that place. This is all about buttons. So then we have what we call relationship fields. So in these relationship fields, we have roll up, we have count, we have lookup. But before we can be able to create roll up field, count field, lookup field, we must have not just one table. We must have multiple tables. Let's say that let's rename this as students table. Students table. Okay. And then we'll have another table called teachers. We have another table called teachers table. Teachers table. Okay. So now, this is students table. So let's say this is our students. We have Joy, we have Ben, Chris. Pardon me with whatever I'm naming here, please. Ben, Chris. We have Ben, Chris. Let's just use it this way, right? Let's say we also have subjects. I don't want this to be too much. We also have subjects. That's a subject the students are taking, and subjects that the teachers as well. And then in teachers table, we have teacher's name. We have subjects, and these subjects, let's use multi-select because teachers can be taken. Okay, let's use single select. Let's say that each of the teachers are just taking only one subject. Subjects. And then we have English. We have maths. We have automation. We have I'm just using anything, right? Which other subject do we even have? Oh, we have biology, right? So let's put it this way. This is the name of our teachers. Let's say we have God sent. We have Mary. We have gift. We have Chioma. So these are the teachers we have. And then these are the subjects that are taken. God sent is taking automation. Mary is taking English. Gift is taking biology. Chioma is taking mathematics. Okay. So we now come over to students. Let's take away this so that I want to delete this subject. Let it not just become overwhelming. So we now come over to these students, to student table. I'll have to delete these fields so that it is easier for us to understand. Sorry. I'll have to delete, or even before I delete them, I can create in between. Okay, let me create in between a new field, and Let me name this one subjects. 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 Sorry, follow along with me. Oh, this should be multi-select field before we name it subjects. That's the field type, because a student can be taking more than one subject, right? Okay, so and then we have automation, we have English, we have English, we have maths, we have which other one? We have biology, right? Okay. Okay, let's say John. Let's say John is taking automation. John is taking English. John is taking maths. Let's say Joy is taking biology, is taking English, is taking maths. Let's say that Ben is just taking only automation and mathematics. Right? Okay. So we will have to create a relationship field that will link these students to these teachers. So we'll have the way these tables are, these students are just on their own. The teachers are just on their own. There is no relationship between them. But there's something we call relational data. And that's one of the things Airtable does. It will help to create a relationship between the students and the teachers. So we call it link records. So we'll now come here and create a link record. We are on the students. So we'll come here. No, I'm trying to create a new. See, this is the reason why I want to delete. Or you can hide a field. See. Look at here. You can hide fields. Look at it. Hide. So when you don't want to delete them, you can hide it. Look at it. Hide field. You can hide it. Look at it. Sorry, I'm taking your time, but I need to hide it so that it's not overwhelming and become confusing for you. Hide. All right. Let's say that this is the student's email. So yeah, it's not bad. So, but let's move it this way. All right. Okay. So we'll now create a relationship field. We call it link to another record. So look at it, link to another record. So when you click on this link to another record, it will ask you, where do you want to link this record to? And the existing tables we have student table, we have teachers table. We are already on students, so we want to link it to teachers. We want to know the teachers teaching these courses that these students are offering. You understand? All right, let's go. So let's name it teachers as well, because it's teachers, but we will now want to be seeing it. We want, when we come on student table, we'll be able to see the teachers handling each of those students. So show displayed name instead of primary field. So because we don't have any record on teachers, as in we've not created some records on them. So there are a lot of things you can do here. You can limit the record selection. You can filter record selection by condition. There are a lot of things you can do here, but most of them you can do it on paid plan, right? So create field. So now it's asking you to add, do you want to add a lookup field? But for now, we don't want to add a lookup field. We are going to treat lookup field separately. So we don't want to add a lookup field now. So we are going to skip this for now. So now we want to select the teachers taking these courses. So this person is doing automation. So if you link it and come here as well, you can be able to see delete. Sorry. This are the field that they gave us when we created. Remember, I told you that when you create a field, a table, Airtable will automatically give you some fields, some records, right? To give you some fields. So now, remember that what we connected was students. We created a linked record on students, but look at it, it's popping up here as well. So these are the teachers. So now look at the students here. So what we want is that we want to know each of the teachers teaching these courses. So this person is taking automation, English, mathematics. So we want to see the teachers that are handling these courses. So the automation teacher here is God sent. The automation teacher for English is Mary. The automation teacher for which other course? Mathematics is Chioma. So then we go over to this one. This is linked record, remember. So the biology, this is biology. Then English is Mary. Mathematics is Chioma. This one is doing only automation and maths. And then the automation teacher is God sent. The mathematics teacher is Chioma. So now, when we come to this table now, we will be able to see each of the teachers. We are not on teachers table, we are on student table. But we are seeing the teachers handling these subjects on student table. So as you can see, there is now a relationship linking students and teachers. Why I said most time that Airtable are Excel on steroid is because of its relational database. It is a relational database. You can link a product to the customer that owns it. You can link a product to the company that are producing it. That when you come to a product table, you will see the company producing it. You understand? Now, when we go over to this teachers table, we can be able to see all the students that these teachers are handling. So now, as you can see, God sent is taking care of two students, and that is John and Ben. Mary is teaching two students, and that is John and Joy. So, but then we can use another field that will bring out all that God sent are taking. These are the students taking this subject. So, in automation, two students are taking automation. Two students are taking English. Two students are taking, only one student is taking biology. Only one student. And then three students are taking mathematics. So if we go back and check it, it will still be the same, that only two students are taking automation. So if we go back here, look at it. Automation, we have only two students. That is John and Ben. And then biology, we have only one person taking biology. And that is only Joy that is taking biology. Mathematics, we have three people taking it. We have John is taking mathematics, Joy is taking mathematics, Ben is taking mathematics. And that is what is explained here. Then let's go over to lookup field. So lookup field, it pulls in specific field value from link record. So let me come here and add age of this student, age of these teachers. Let's do ages. We're going to use number. Please follow me. Age. Because it's age, we don't want any decimal, please. Yeah. Okay. Let's say God sent is 26. Let's say Mary is 28. Let's say Gift is 22. Let's say Chioma is 20. Or let's use Chioma is 34. This is their ages, right? And then let's say, what else do we want to see? Okay, let's just use this one, right? Okay. So what the lookup field does is that we want to know the ages of these teachers. We want, if we come to this students, or let's do that ages here for students. Sorry. Because I think teachers will want to see the ages of their students, not the other way around. All right. Age, okay. We don't want any decimal here. Okay, we save it. Let's say John is 17. Joy is 19. Ben is 15. All right. So we will now go here. We want to create a lookup field. Sorry, let me delete this. Sorry. So we want to see the ages of these students that are taking these courses. We want to see the ages of people taking automation. So what we'll do now is we'll come here and create a lookup field. Look at it, lookup field. And let's say we'll name it age, student age. Okay. Lookup. This is lookup. We come here and name it student age. Student age. And then they will now ask us, where do we want to look up to already? Because it's only students and teachers table that are here, and we're in teachers table, they actually know that, oh, there is nothing else we'll be looking up to other than students. And they will now ask us, which of the field do we want to look up? We want to see ages of the students taking each of these courses, each of these subjects that we are offering. So we'll now come here and say, we want to see their ages. If we want to see their emails, if we want to see their full names, we can do it here. But what we want is just to want to see their ages. We now come here and create it. And look at it. It's populated. So John and Ben, that means John is 17 and Ben is 15. Let's go back here and check. John and Ben. Look at it. John is 17 and Ben is 15. You see what lookup field can do. So you can look up a particular field from another table. So you can look up maybe when it comes to rentals, you want to know the properties that they've rented. And then you have different fields. You can look it up. Maybe you're creating a tax table. You can create tax table. You can create employees so that you can link it, be able to know this task, who is he assigned to? You link it up. So another one we have is we have what we called count field. So let's for it count. We have count field. Let's say number of students. We want to check number of students that each of these teachers are taking. Number of students. Number of students. So we are counting students. So look at it. God sent is taking 2 as a number of this. Let's call this number of students taking each of these courses. So in automation, 2 people. You will use count to count the number. You can only do this from another record when there is a link in another record. So this field automatically counts how many linked records are connected. This is when you're going to use this. We have another one that we call roll-up. So roll-up field pull in data from linked record and perform calculation on them. So now, what are we going to name this roll-up? Let's just call it roll-up, right? Roll-up, okay. Because we're in students, they're asking us which of the field do we want to roll up. Okay, remember we have other fields here. So let's say we want to roll up the age of the students. And then they're not asking us, what do we want to do with the age of the students? Do you want to sum it up, or do we want to calculate the average? So we can calculate average even using roll-up. But let's just say we want to sum it up. So it has summed the number of students. It has summed their ages. So remember, it is Remember that is John and Ben. This is connecting from this. So this is where they are connecting it from. So what is rolling up now is rolling up the age of these people. Age of all the students, taking that courses. You can even ask it to do, average. So roll up, you can use it to roll up a field from another table and do calculation, perform calculation on it. So that is also the beauty. These are relationship fields. So we have other fields like barcode. We have other field like AI. AI have their field. And we have another important field that is created time and last modified date. Just here. What it does is that is automatic. Created time. So this created time is whenever a record is created, it will pop up. You don't need to fill it. It will put, maybe you want, whenever somebody comes to this data and edit it, you want a timestamp. So it is not editable. So if you create it now, let's call it created time as well. Created time. So it will create the date. It cannot be edited. You cannot edit it. So you want somebody, when somebody comes here and edit a record, you want to have the timestamp that they cannot edit. You want when somebody come and click the task you've given to them, you will know. You will know the time they clicked it. You can use this created time. We have another one called created by. As the name implies, who created it? More like who is the person that created this? Maybe you have people on your data, you have collaborators on your Airtable, other of your employee that have access to your table, that does things, assign tasks, create field and all of it. And you want to know who edited this field. So it will be able to say this is the person that edited it and this is the time the person edited it. That one is created by. So let me just show you created by. Look at it here. Created by, who created it. That is how it works. Then we have last modified. More like, when was this modified? When was this field? As somebody can come and delete a field and you will not know the person. But this you'll be able to know last modified. When was this data touched? When was this field touched? And who touched it? That is modifying. Who modified it? Maybe you're using a price, salary, or whatever. Somebody can come and edit the price, put another price. But with this, you can be able to see when was this modified? Who did it? You can use last modified by and last modified time. This is what it does. So, best practice for structuring your data. Now you know every field type. Best practice is don't use single line text for everything just because it's easy. If you're storing a date, use a date field. If you're storing number, use number. If it has to do with money, use currency. So there are a lot of best practice. And then don't make mistake of using another field type for another thing. It will not work. And most time you begin to ask, where is my problem coming from? So, but then if you stick to this, you'll be able to get everything right. And then structure your table well. So, go back to this, learn it, do it very well, and you'll be happy. Fields in Airtable is one of the things that you will learn. Fields and records are one of the things you will learn, and then you will no longer just be a user. You will be a builder. You will now be able to build structures, customize Airtable to people's business. Because when you look at their processes, you'll be able to understand the data they want to capture and the field that are suitable for each of these data. So today we talked about fields and different fields we talked about. So go back, take a look at it, learn it, and it will be very useful for you. I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.